Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This outfit was inspired by V James and we are going to make it together. First of all, I mark out the shoulder is 40, but first you know that you are going to fold your fabric, so I'm making it 20. And for my shoulder I use 2.5 for the down, for the depth, while the wide is also 2. So I have to mark it and cut it off. So from my shoulder I have to cut off the excesses by marking it out from the shoulder down to the length of the outfit. So I am marking out the excesses down to the end of the length. After marking it out, I'm using my ruler to join the dotted lines that I've drawn already, which is the excess parts that comes out after measuring the shoulder of my client. As I said, the shoulder is 40. I have to divide it by 2 to give me 20 inches, and the dotted lines are the excesses that came out from the shoulder. At this point I'm going to cut out my neck. This is the back, because I have to cut out the back first before the front. If this is the measure reason, from the back I'm going to get the front, because the front has a rope. At this point you have to be very careful, because of the material is a little bit slippery, and also to avoid any mistake I used office pin to as well to pin it down. So this is the front part of the fabric. I have to set it in such a way that when I take my measurements I won't have a different thing from my measuring book and on my fabric. So at this point I've folded my fabric and I'm going to place my back part to the front. And from the video, first thing I have to do is just to mark out 2 inch. At this point we don't need zip, because I'm going to make use of rope for the drawn string. So at this point I'm marking out 2 inch from the shoulder to the bottom of the fabric. So I'm using my ruler to rule it out. So after that I'm going to measure my neck. At this point I'm using 8 inch for my neck, because I needed a V-neck shape. So I'm marking it out. So I measure 3 inch and 8 as the depth for my neck. So after that I'm going to shape out. I just needed to carve out from the hip. I have to carve out the fabric like that of the pencil skirt or a pencil gown as per se, but you won't make it tight, it will still be free. You just have to carve it out just to give you that pencil, like that fishy shape at the bottom of the dress. So after placing my fabric and carving out, I'm going to cut out the excesses from the front pattern of my dress. This excess has nothing to do with the main measurements or the style of the dress you are trying to make. You just want to give it a befitting shape and a very good outfit. So at this point, I'm going to take out my back one, like my back part. So I'm left with just the front, and I'm going to cut out my neck. So that neck, I'm going to use bias to fold it. I'm going to use bias as my own piping to fold it out. So at this point, I'm going to measure out my client's waistline, which is 18. Because in this case she's tall and huge, so I'm using 18 for her waistline, and her waist is 36 and a half. So 36 and a half divided by 4, which is giving us 9. So I'm going to take 1 inch in Y measurement. This is to enable us have a very very befitting shape, like when you tie when you tie your belt, the dress tends to lap on the client's body. So at this point, I'm going to give it a cut at the front. A slit. So after making the slits, I have to indicate that same point, the waistline, which I indicated in the front. So at this point, I have joined the front, that 2 inch that I cut off, and I used bias as my piping for my neck. So at this point, we're going to make a very long rope, which we'll be using because this dress has to do with a drawn string. I'm not making use of elastic, but I'm using rope in this case. So those spaces, these 9 are for the rope. And this is the front. You saw how it came out perfectly well. And that is the back part of the fabric. So at this point, I'm going to join the shoulder, and this is the outcome of the dress. As you can see, it's looking very beautiful on the client's body. The drawn string at the front, it's nice. Then the A shape also came out perfectly well, and you can see the V shape at her front. Thank you.